Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz post-game show.
Welcome in, everybody, to the post-game show. The Eagles winners tonight, 34-27 over the Packers here at Lambeau Field. This was a game where the Eagles were able to run the ball, and the Packers just were not able to run the ball at all. They had a lot of mistakes in this game. They couldn't get the offense on track, and there are a ton of Eagles fans still here in the house. You can hear them chanting right now. We're going to have Carson Wentz join us live on the set, everybody.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Going to be great.
That's great.
So the Eagles, essentially, they avoid going in a 1-3 hole to start the season. They moved to 500, 2-2 on a short week with all of these injuries at Lambeau Field to beat Aaron Rodgers. We saw Aaron Rodgers throw that interception, which he hasn't done for so long here at Lambeau. Colleen Wolfe here with the rest of the crew, Steve Smith Sr., hey guys, Joe Thomas and Michael Irvin. But let's talk about that last drive from the Packers, because it just felt like that was very indicative of the entire game, really. Joe.
Yeah, the last drive, you saw Aaron Rodgers picking apart the Philly defense. Philly without a couple of their cornerbacks. So you saw Aaron Rodgers, they played a lot of 11 personnel. They wanted to find the matchup that was favorable throughout that entire drive, and really the whole second half. They were finding it until we saw right at the end when, hey, if you can't catch the ball and it bounces up in the air, it usually lands in the hands of the defense. Misfortune for Aaron Rodgers, because he was playing an outstanding game. He was basically Green Bay's entire offense tonight.
Yeah, we saw Aaron Rodgers, the old Aaron Rodgers.
This was the old Aaron Rodgers.
Where he took over, forget the Matt LaFleur. The Matt LaFleur offense, forget all of that.
Out the window, no more Matt LaFleur offense.
422 yards. But you got to give the Eagles so much credit. They came in here with their backs against the wall, desperate for a win. They went down more men on this field today, and the guys that they brought off the bench made the big play in the end to get the win. Kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles in that.
Yeah, and Joe, you mentioned that earlier, that this is an Eagles team, a team that plays better when they're counted out, plays better when their backs are against the wall and when people don't believe in them. And I think we kind of saw that tonight. Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that. We saw Aaron Rodgers throw for, almost 500 yards passing. But when they needed it, when their backs were against the wall, they felt that sense of urgency. They made the play they had to at the end to win the game.
Coming into this game, the Philadelphia Eagles had about 7 or 8 guys that were injured. Lost 2 guys today. But then also, too, you look at Jordan Howard, 87 yards rushing. But those 87 yards, when you watch how he rushed and how he went down the field, it seemed like it was more than 87 yards. He was grueling. He grinded out in the fourth quarter. Why Aaron Rodgers was in the shotgun formation primarily is because he did not leave a lot of time left on the clock. And he did an excellent job. And Doug Peterson did what we did not expect him to do, which is make a lot of variations in the play calling, which we haven't seen in the first 3 weeks prior to tonight.
A lot of RPO.
Yeah, and I think the Packers really did miss Devontae Adams on that last comeback bid there. He had such a big game for them, and then not having him at that moment really proved costly for them. Yeah, so we will talk to the winning quarterback coming up. Next, guys, we have Carson Wentz joining us live. Find out what he thinks about being able to get this win for the Eagles. And tomorrow, guys, celebrity fans join NFL stars and legends to begin counting down the greatest games in NFL history. NFL 100 Greatest. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock, only on NFL Network.
You are watching the Mercedes-Benz post-game show. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
It's not pretty good or nothing. It's not acceptable or nothing. And it's definitely not close enough or nothing. Mercedes-Benz SUVs were engineered with only one mission in mind: to be the best. In the category, in the industry, in the world. Lease the GLA 250 SUV for just $329 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Get your game day started Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern with NFL Game Day Morning.
That is how we start the show, baby.
New England's defense is dominating their opponents so far. Patriots legend Willie McGinnis sits down with their leaders on D to find out what motivates them to be great.
I think everyone wants to do well out there, and I think it shows up on Sunday.
Kurt Kurt Warner can be a pretty tough QB critic, but did he really find no flaws when he watched Daniel Jones' debut? The Hall of Famer breaks down the film. Plus, the Browns went from feeling dangerous to being in danger of falling out of contention early. We'll explain why this week in Baltimore is already a must-win for Cleveland. All that and more on NFL Game Day Morning, presented by Lowe's, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Let's highlight tonight's star of the game presented by Mercedes-Benz, and that is Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. What a night for him, 160 passing yards. That's it, but 3 touchdowns. He played a very clean game, no interceptions, and he is going to join us live on the set coming up so we can ask him all sorts of questions about this team and this win tonight here in Green Bay. But this crowd is here in full force. They've been talking a lot of trash to Irv, too. This whole they're in prime form already.
Yes, they are. And I love the Eagle fans. And the Eagle fans are indicative of what we saw from these Eagle players last night. This was a fight-back game, and they fought back and came away with the victory.
Yeah, the Eagles, their running game has looked the best it has in eons. They were really able to run the ball well. And coming into this game, I think I remember Joe Thomas may have said that not concerned about the Packers' run defense. Does it concern you now?
It still doesn't concern me because that's not how the defense is built. The rushing yards, it's easy to look at the paper and say, well, they rushed for 177 yards. That's what won the game. But the reason the Packers lost is because the Packers defense did not get any turnovers and they didn't get any sacks. If you're a team that's willing to give up a lot of rushing yards, you got to be able to make the big play. That's what they rely on, and they weren't able to do that tonight.
Well, one of the things that was really interesting, we talked about how much pressure and how disruptive this defense is for the Green Bay Packers. At one point, 20 drop-back passes, 0 pressures, 0 sacks. They were not disruptive. They were not getting the quarterback uncomfortable at all. And it was pretty strange to see a team we already had defensively have already put them in the top 5. And yet this did not look like a top 5 defense. So that's the biggest concern. But hopefully Coach Pettit can get them back to what they need to do, which is get pressure, because an uncomfortable quarterback is a quarterback that's ineffective.
And the Eagles started slow again tonight, but they came back to win this football game. And they played hard down the stretch. Alshon Jeffery, he was not healthy out here today. You know, he only caught 3 passes, 38 yards, but each one of those plays he made was huge. They were big third down conversions. He kept fighting back. You could see that he wasn't healthy. And I'm going to tell you something. This win right here, this is the kind of win that the Eagles can build on all year, and they can hold on and say, listen, wherever we get in tough spots, remember what we did at Lambeau. Let's go back to that.
Well, this is certainly a turning point, I think, in their season, too, because if they didn't get this win, they are in a really tough spot to dig out of. And you look at how they did it with all of these injuries, especially in the secondary. They were already down Ronald Darby. They lost Sidney Jones in the beginning of the game. We just saw Avonte Maddox go down. They have Jalen Mills is on the PUP right now. I mean, this is a team that is depleted in the secondary, playing Aaron Rodgers at home. And they still were able to get it done.
And a defense that did not get many sacks got a crucial sack, strip, fumble, and then they turned that into a touchdown. A defense that only had a few turnovers coming into the game. They got 2 turnovers tonight and a crucial one at the end of the game. That's big-time football.
A big performance here for the Eagles. Carson Wentz is making his way over to our set right now. And tomorrow, guys, check this out. Celebrity fans are going to join all of the NFL stars and legends to begin counting down the greatest games in NFL history. NFL 100 Greatest. That's coming up tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on NFL Network.
Listen, I have told you guys this before. The one thing I love about you is the way you fight for 60 minutes. And you hang in there with one another. When things don't look pretty, and it's never a pretty win, okay? But it is a win. Hey, listen, it took all 60 minutes. It took every man in this room to get this thing done, okay? There is no quit in this team.
Eagles head coach Doug Peterson there, now 5-0 on TNF, and we have Carson Wentz joining us now after after a big 34-27 win over these Packers. And Carson, when you think about this week leading up to it, obviously 2 disappointing losses back-to-back, short week, all of the injuries, and then you have to be on the road in prime time at Lambeau Field against the Packers. This is a lot of stuff, a lot of build-up here. What was the mindset in that locker room kind of in the run-up of this game?
For sure. I mean, it's always tough on a Thursday night to get ready to go, especially, you know, your body's first and foremost. But coming off of the 2 losses, I think it was beneficial for us to be able to just put those behind. It's hard to focus with my fans right now. But
whatever would you be laughing about right now?
I don't know if they can hear that at home. But.
Well, if you can't hear the Eagles fans, which is about 15 rows worth of fans,
maybe more,
and saying Dallas sucks, and Carson is laughing. Carson, heading to this season, there's been a lot of noise that has been made about what is missing with this Eagles team. How have you personally, been a leader of this team, been able to block out that noise?
Yeah, I mean, that's just been my mindset since I came into the league, is just blocking out all the expectations. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. I've just put my head down and go to work. And, you know, we've done an amazing job. Howie Roseman putting together this offense and this defense as well. And we got a lot of weapons. You know, we've been shorthanded a little bit here and there, but guys are stepping up, making plays. It was good to come out with a win tonight.
Carson, the first 3 games of the season, you guys kind of started a little bit slow. You played much better in the second half. So I sat on the set before the game started, and I said, you know what? I want to see Carson Wentz be the spark that ignites this team in the first half. I want to see him make a big play, or maybe make a big forearm shiver to one of those defenders. And Michael said, he can't put his life on the line. He needs to get down. I said, no, I want to see Carson run somebody over. I said, not a D lineman, maybe a DB. Get that team excited early on, and that's exactly what you did. So I want to say thank you. But I also have a question.
Yep.
Did you go into this game with the mentality of, I need to do something to create a spark for this offense to get us going, because we need to have a great second half? Because if we can play like we did in the second half in those first 3 games, as I pat myself on the back, in the first half, we can really be a special team.
Yeah, I mean, we came in tonight, you know, first of all, we knew that's a good Packers defense. So we came in tonight with just the mindset to be balanced. The big guys up front really took care of business. I mean, what do we end up with, 170-some rushing yards?
You guys ran the ball well.
And so for me, that makes my life so much easier, and we can spread the love. And so guys made plays when we need to make them. It was a big win.
After you ran that guy over, did your coach say anything to you? Did Doug say, hey, man, maybe just one of those, but we're good on that. You can get down from now on.
I'm sure I'll hear about it on Monday when we come back in.
Carson, a lot of people will say this is one of 16 during the regular season. But this game has had a different meaning and felt like it had something different. You guys were down a lot of men in this game. I saw guys like Elshon Jeffrey coming out. You could tell he wasn't totally healthy, but he was giving it up for his teammates. I said earlier that this is the kind of game that you can put a stake in and say, we fought back and we will never give up.
The crowd is just booing the crowd at you right now.
They don't want to hear from Irv.
Let's be professional and hear what he has to say. Go ahead. What do you say to that, Carson?
I mean, it's a huge win for us, obviously.
Yes.
Going 2-2 versus 1-3 is huge in this league. Being able to do this on the road against a really good Packers team, Thursday Night Football, everything about it, you know, is really tough. So to come on the road, to fight, scratch, and claw the way we did, to get the defense step up twice at the end there, that's huge for us. And now we can hopefully go on a roll.
The defense stepping up the way that they did with all of the injuries, how nice is that for you to be on the sideline and see them making all of these plays and knowing that they got your back like that?
That's huge. You know, it was twice at the end there. You know, it was, you know, they're down in the goal line 2 different times. They got the stop, and then offensively we weren't able to get it done and finish it off. So, you know, we went back to the defense, and, you know, we're all biting our nails on the sideline. There's nothing we can do, and the defense stepped up, made a heck of a play.
Can you put your finger on why the slow starts have been for the Philadelphia Eagles?
It's hard to say. You know, it's a combination of a lot of things. You know, tonight, you know, just a couple missed execution things here and there. But, you know, they did some good things defensively. That's a good defense, and, you know, we got to figure it out late.
What was the message Coach Peterson talked to you guys before this game? Because as the media, we came into this game saying this is maybe possibly a must-win game.
Yeah, I mean, Coach has been optimistic all week. You know, I think, you know, the last 2 games, yeah, we lost them both, but we're right there. We're right there, and there's just a play here and there. And you know how it is. That's how it is every single week in the NFL. It's one play here or there that can make or break a ball game. So we knew we had a heck of a team, a heck of an opportunity here. We were able to turn around quick, which I think helped us flush those last 2 games and come out with a big win tonight.
Coming into this season, prior to that, you've been injured pretty much 2 years in a row. What did you do this offseason going in that made you feel pretty good about yourself?
Yeah. For me, it's just been a big off-season makeover, from nutrition to sleep to how I work out, a lot of mobility, just different things to take care of my body. I think it's kind of the natural transition for athletes throughout their career as they get older and they go through some injuries to really find what works for them. And I've had some really good people in my corner that have helped me get to this point.
How far out did you know that when Alshon Jeffrey was going to play tonight, and how big was that for you to have him?
I mean, I had a pretty good feeling all week talking to him, but it's still up in the air until tonight. So having him out there, I mean, he might only had a couple catches, but his presence is felt. Whether he has a couple or goes off, his presence is always felt out there, and that was a big spark.
There were big third down catches, though. There were big third down catches. Coach, a lot of talk about you getting back to your MVP form. How do you feel you're playing right now?
Physically, I feel good. Without a doubt, there's plays out here. I'm already ready to go watch the film and see what the heck I screwed up and where we can improve. But, physically, I feel good, and I think we're just going to build off this offensively and get this thing rolling.
The Packers lead the NFL coming into this game in turnovers. They're in the top 3 in sacks. You knew they were going to be a disruptive defense. You guys held them. No turnovers, no sacks tonight. Was there any schematic emphasis going into this game on getting the ball out quickly, trying to focus on more RPOs, trying to focus on running the football so that you wouldn't allow the Packers to make any of those big plays they've relied on the first 3 games?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's kind of the MO on a short week in general. It's just, play fast, simplify it, do what you do best and just go. And so to be able to do what we did best out here tonight, put up 34 points, make some plays the way we did, that was a good mindset going into this week.
Last week, Aaron Rodgers said that after he wasn't sacked in the game, he said that he was going to go watch some Eagles tape and drink some scotch. So what are your plans now after you got the win here?
I'm excited to just have a 3-day break, spend some time with my wife, and just relax. No scotch for me, though.
All right, that's fair enough. Well,
you
can enjoy this because
look at that.
After the game here, we highlight an artist, and this week it's IDK. So I don't know if you're familiar with IDK, but his debut album, Is It Real?
I'm not.
Featuring the track 24 is out now, so you can check that out tonight.
So he's not familiar with IDK.
What's he doing with those sheep on the front? That's what I want to know.
Do you have a cassette tape player?
What's going on with these sheep? That's what I want to know. I don't care if he's got a cassette player or not.
IDK, everybody, check it out.
What is going on here?
Do you have a cassette player?
I do not, but I'll have to go get one now.
All right, so you can go listen to IDK, watch some film on the Jets, and enjoy the win and the time off. You guys, it's well deserved.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. And guys, thanks for hanging out with us. That does it for us here on the post-game show. We're going to hear from Aaron Rodgers coming up on Total Access. We have much more coverage still ahead, but let me get a little bit from this crowd.
Oh, she's playing up to the Eagles crowd. Here we go.
They're still here. They love their man Carson Wentz. We heard the MVP chants a little bit earlier today. A great Eagles win here, 34-27 for the Birds. We'll be back next week in Seattle with Seahawks taking on the Rams. We'll see you then, everybody. Good night.
The Mercedes-Benz post-game show. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
It's not pretty good or nothing. It's not acceptable or nothing. And it's definitely not close enough or nothing. Mercedes-Benz SUVs were engineered with only one mission in mind: to be the best. In the category, in the industry, in the world. Lease the GLA 250 SUV for just $329 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.